Right, car storage with Ben here on ClaytonSpeed. Today's story is one of, I don't know, it sort of ties a few. What does it do? What does it do? What does it do? Right, it's a story about a car I used to own again. Only this time, it's about the car when I owned it and the opportunity that came up that I didn't take. Massively, no regrets about that at all. It was, you know, there was reasons, as that will become clear in a minute. So, I wired the window wrong. If you hold your finger down on it, it does that soft drop. And for some reason, I haven't fixed it, which goes with a lot of things on this car. Anyway, so I was approached probably 2005, big milk lorry, 2005 by a company that supplied cars to film. And they wanted a Marina to be on set up in Manchester. And must have been about 2006, I think, because I'd not long started a new job, and I got this call and they said, we want a Marina, what have you got? And I was like, well, I've got a, what did I have? Well, it was Black Tulip TC Saloon. Webasto sunroof. It had, at the time, it had alley cat wheels on it. It was kind of jacked up at the back because it had heavyweight springs on. Yeah, they phoned up and said, can I do it? And I didn't take the opportunity because I'd started a new job and I couldn't get time off. I said to him, well, what's it for? What program? And he wouldn't tell me. Just all he said was, oh, well, it's about a policeman who goes back in time. That's all he said. And a lot of you now going, oh yeah, I know what that was. You're all right. It was for the first series of Life on Mars with John Simm. So I worked out that my car, with the conversation I'd had with him previously and then obviously subsequently watching the series, my car would have been the car on the, what looked like the wasteland site when Sam goes back and he's there. I think it's a Rover P6 that he's like supposedly had a crash in, and there's a policeman there saying, you know, what do you want? And he says he wants a Jeep, and he says, oh, you want a military vehicle? Or something like that. And Rover P6 obviously was supposed to be Sam's car. Well, my Marina could have been Sam's car, and that, you know, could have been, should have been, but it doesn't end there. Now, well, I was involved in the Marina Owners Club at the time, and we were speaking to this guy. He came back to us and he said, you know, we've done Series 1, I think they'd use a leg rose, and there was a number of people in there saying, oh, it's not the right year, that's the wrong year group for a leg rose, it wouldn't look like that, that's a Mark 3, not a Mark, whatever it is, insert market. Anyway, so they said they wanted the Marina for the Series 2. So they're like, but we want it picked up on whatever day. It was like, I can't remember. I don't think they've been let down. I think the guy who organised the cars, he had a Marina, but he said it wasn't good enough for close-up. So they wanted another one. Well, by this point, the Black Tulip Marina I had, I don't think really was what they were looking for. They wanted something more of a sort of somber colour rather than sort of Black Tulip, which is obviously a darker colour. So we looked around and, you know, what we did, a friend of mine, he said, oh well, I'll buy a car and we'll put it in. So we went on eBay back in 2000 and whatever it was, 2006, 2007, I can't remember. And yeah, we picked up Ugh. Hold on. Water splash. Still can't get second gear in this. Yeah, so we picked up this Lime Flower 1.8 Auto Saloon from Ipswich. I remember driving over there after winning the bid. I could not tell you how much we paid for it. I think, I don't know, £500. It might have been less than that. I can't remember. It had MOT. It was tax exempt. It was an L reg. And we picked it up, bought it back, and I think we had about a weekend to get, or 2 weekends to get it right, but the guy was going to come and pick it up, obviously, for filming. So we picked it up, bought it back, and it had this awful underseal that had been painted all up the side of the sills on the wing, which is like tide lines. And it was like, really? Just slap it everywhere. They possibly had a bit of masking tape across the top to make it level, I can't remember, but it looked awful. It didn't obviously look original to how the car should have looked in 1973 when it was, you know, like 2 years old or something like that. So we spent the weekend, we got all the black rubbish off. I think I had to unjam a door that wasn't opening, give it a service, new tyres on it, and yeah, it got picked up and it was used for Series 2. And actually, there's a video on my channel, pre-ClaytonSpeed, of John Simm driving it, and he pulls up to the hospital and he sort of screeches to a halt. They obviously dub in engine noises for cars on TV shows. I don't know much about it, but that was not the engine noise that car made, because that car was an automatic and it just used to burble along. Its 3-speed gearbox, and it was great. You know, we had it on there. I think it's definitely Series 2, latter part of Series 2, I think, not 100%. So yeah, that was I wouldn't say claim to fame, because it's, you know, fame in a Marina, I don't know, but there you go. Anyway, that car is still with me. And that car could be yours, because it has been languishing at the back of a unit for, well, pretty much probably since it came back from the film set. It came back and it basically just got put in there. There was nothing wrong with it mechanically. It's shown its age now, but it has been in dry storage. But that one, along with another car, which is Glacier White 1.8 SDL, which has done, I think, 30, something like 30,000 miles from now, I think. Both those cars I need to move on. Now, there's options here, because what with my channel, and I'm doing these restorations of these cars, I am, totally honest, I am moving cars on. I've got to free up some space, fry up some eggs and bacon. No, free up some space, and these two cars have got to go. So there's options. So you could either buy them as they are, and they're not going to be done anything to. We'll just move them on, and then you can restore them or commission them or whatever you want to do, or you can have me restore it, or them, for the channel, and then obviously then they're your car. So how that would work is basically you'd come and have a look. Well, I'll send you some photographs. And we'd do a deal on the car and the restoration. Now, these are not going to be auction prices. These are not going to be extortionate prices. they're going to be reasonable prices, I'd like to think. The restoration costs alone could be quite expensive if you were to buy a car and then go somewhere to have it restored. This way, I restore it as part of the package. Possibly, or, you know, or we just move them on as they are. But if there's interest, obviously they can be restored on the channel. And also with that, everything is open and out there. You know, there's no bodges. It's all as it is, as what happens to that car is what you see. It's all video documented. Everybody sees what's going on. I've got nothing to hide with these restorations. It's like with the Mark II. Everything is recorded. So if somebody wants to buy that when it's done, they can go back through the series of videos and say, yeah, that's exactly what I expected it to be. So, BBC, well, I call it the BBC car, so it's the Lime Flower 1.8 automatic, super deluxe Lime Flower. That's really, it needs going through mechanically, it needs a fair bit of bodywork doing to it. It's possibly like sills, possibly wings, or certainly wing sections, I think. Mechanically, it's fairly good. I think, you know, put some fuel to it, battery, and it'll go. And obviously it'll need refreshing and such like. But obviously, if you buy it as it is, then obviously it is what it is. You can do that. Or if you want me to do the work to it, I'll do it to whatever level you want it to be. And obviously that price can be agreed as we go along. Well, not as we go along, but obviously up front we work that out. So, yeah, so that's the first one. It's got to go. And the next one, so the Glacier White one, which is on low mileage. Again, I'll put photographs. I'm putting photographs as I go along. So the Glacier White with low mileage. That is an absolute peach of a car. If you wanted an absolutely original Mark I Morris Marina Saloon 1800 SDL manual gearbox, sorrel trim that is absolutely pristine. Even like the chrome around the bezels is perfect, it's lovely, it's wonderful. It's an absolute peach of a car, and that car doesn't need much. It needs mechanically going through, but bodywork, it doesn't need anything. A few little touch-ins, I think, but the paint is so original. Unless somebody said they wanted it repainted, and to be perfectly honest, that'll cut out really nicely. I think a nice mop over it would really bring it up, and the chrome and the such like. So that's the other one I need to get moving. So comment below or message me on either Instagram or Facebook if you're interested in any of those. Yeah, I mean, again, if somebody wanted it done on the channel and restored, then obviously you've got to think of time frames. And at the moment, my priority is to get the Mark II, the blue one, done. So then once that one's done, we can look at one of the other two. If nobody buys them as they are, or if they don't buy them to be restored, I will restore them and put them on the channel, and obviously then sell them like I'm doing with the Mark II. Again, all open, all honest, warts and all, everything on the channel as a restoration. So, yeah, that's that. Now on this, there was an annoying clonking noise coming from the back. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last drive out video. I may have done, I can't remember. Anyway, annoying it is. So now have a look at that. Making a few strange noises, so I'm going to kind of figure out what's going on there. Here we go. Yeah. Biggest problem in the summer, bird poo. Yeah. We'll get that sorted out, because that's not good. I didn't put the cover on it after the last run out. Yeah, so it's looking a bit sad.
People who drive them are just sad.
But the biggest problem I've got is that it's getting the shade. It's nice to have a bright day, but it's so sunny. Right, So it had a bit of a clonking noise on the back, and I think it was going away when I put my foot on the brake, so I'm hoping it's something really simple like brake caliper, pads or something daft like that. Hopefully not prop shaft, although if it is prop shaft it means I've got to sort it out. It's got to be sorted out one way or another anyway. So let's get it jacked up, have a look what's going on. Always safety first. Find some more blocks of wood. It's the Mark II Special. Sat doing not a lot at the moment. But you can see, blue tape, perfect for holding on your trim pieces. Yeah, just putting it on there just so I can make sure that the trim actually goes on in the metal stage rather than doing all the filler work and everything else and it not fitting properly and breaking or cracking the paint, or cracking the filler or whatever. So it all looks quite nice. A little bit of sanding I need to do on the bottom of that. Not that you can really see it in this shot, I'm afraid, but I ain't going to get it out. Oh, I might need a bit of traction doing on that. It's a bit worn on that edge. I think I might need some new tyres. What else? Yeah, it's a bit busy in here at the minute. Need to sort the car out. I have to move all this stuff, and this is first world problems of garages. I've got to clear all this stuff out of here into the shed. Because I can't, it's really irritating me. I'm getting OCD. Everything's all boxed up and labelled, bizarrely, but it's just needs sorting out, and I just dumped everything in here after the last video I did. I haven't really been in here since, but we'll get back onto it at the weekend because I've got a new compressor arriving, so I can crack on with some prep work. So that'll be good. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, chalk. Chalk. Oh, some wood. Block of wood. Where are my blocks of wood? Oh, there's a block of wood. Safety first. There we go. Underneath the turbo. Now, excuse me for the fact there's a lot of chipped off paint. What looks to be a rusty fuel tank. It's just surface rust, I promise. I just haven't had a chance to sort it out yet. It's absolutely fine inside. Guarantee. ClaytonSpeed guarantee. Okay, so so that's the brake calipers. It's got shut up, cars. Disc brakes on the rear, which are MGF discs on a custom bracket I made with Rover 800 calipers, and they work pretty well. I have a feeling they might be a little bit loose, so I have to tighten them up today. An oil leak. Shocks have seen better days. Maybe it don't have to be Concord. Yeah. This car, it gets used. It does get used a lot. Although I haven't used it a lot this year, but in the summer it will get used a lot. But it's solid where it counts. That's the main thing. Keep it on top of it. Let's figure out where the clonking is. Okay, this is how a burnout killed my car. Well, it didn't kill it, but it certainly isn't supposed to do. You can see it up there. Ow! Bolt. The bolt has worked its way loose. And I was getting a clonking noise on this side. I thought it was wheel bearing. I then thought it could be the caliper carrier. No, the bolts weren't loose on the shock absorber. Support the channel, like and subscribe. Post comments, please. Ask me questions. Daft questions, I don't know. Car related maybe. Try and keep it as car related as possible. But yeah, so I'm going to do that up. Take it for a little drive. I need some new shock absorbers. I need to write a list of jobs on this car. It's like a mile long. If only I could do this full time. Like, subscribe. Well, that was a quick and easy fix, wasn't it? No clonking anymore. Yeah, that shock absorber bolt just worked its way out. Yeah, I think I'm thinking to figure out. It's done that before. I should have remembered that. It shouldn't do that. It's possibly because well, it needs a lock nut put on the other end of it, I think. But I think I have to find another bracket. I think the threads might be a bit worn. So I'll have a look at that, dig another one out and do that job. But the most annoying thing, found rust on this. This car, when I had it, obviously it was painted not by me, and all I did was basically just give it a bit of a polish. But what I did do is cavity waxed everywhere. And I was sure I'd got everywhere, and I'm pretty sure I did, and it's protecting it, even the box sections, everything. But I found at the bottom of the wheel arch on the driver's side a little, well, it was a bit of a bubbling bit of paint. Never a good thing. And obviously, if you don't know, or if you didn't paint it yourself, or didn't know how it was painted, prepped, and all the rest of it, you could be opening a can of worms. And I poked it with a screwdriver. But it's alright, it can be fixed. I do have in stock, you'll be surprised, you won't be surprised, you've got everything Marina, this bloke, everything. What's he do? What's he want Marinas for? I do have a quarter panel, but it doesn't need a quarter panel. The quarter panels are being saved in case something really tragic happens and something goes into me, or later in my ownership of this I decide to really go to town and strip it all out. But I've got a quarter panel, but I'm just going to make a section to repair it. But it will mean I've got to paint the whole quarter panel. I could blend it in, but like with the Mark II, I'm not entirely sure how it was painted, and I'd rather get to a point where it is epoxied, it is blocked out, it is painted, base coat and clear, which it is at the moment. It's base clear, but it was painted 30 years ago, so there's a few areas that I kind of need to do. The whole car really needs doing. As I said before, this was a finalist at the Practical Classics Restoration Show. It did not deserve to be on that stand. Anybody who saw it, and I'd be interested, comment below if you did see it, it did not deserve to be on that stand. But it was. But if you don't even have to put a magnifying glass to this car, you can see its imperfections everywhere. But it's not about that to me. This car is about driving it, enjoying it, and having a bit of a laugh, and not taking yourself seriously. And when it does go wrong, take it on the chin and fix it. And that's exactly what I've got to do with that quarter panel. And I will do it. But I've got to get the Mark II painted first. But if I'm painting that, I might as well do the prep work on this, so you'll see that on the channel in a video. Make a repair panel. And that's that. And that's that. So if you enjoyed everything, like, subscribe, ask comments. Ask comments? No, you don't ask comments. Ask questions. But comment below. Yeah, and if you're interested in either of the cars, there's obviously, I've got more than those two. There are a lot more that I've got to move on. But those are the two ones are in my way at the moment. So if you're interested in either an automatic 1.8 SDL, bit of history with life on Mars, or a really, really nice Mark 1 1800 SDL in Glacier White, then yeah, get in touch. And who knows, it could be the next car on the channel for restoration after the Mark II. I better get on and do that, because It ain't gonna fix itself, Ben. No, it's not. It'd be good if it did, but it's not. And this needs doing. This job's doing. Why are you not going in second gear? Oh, it goes. Take care.